What a comeback. Face screaming in fear fire Manchester United rise from the dead to beat Lyon 5-4 in one of the wildest games you'll ever see. Goals flying in, stars stepping up, and Rio Ferdinand has his say on a surprise standout under Ruben Amorim. Let's break it all down. Man United come back from the dead to beat Lyon 5-4. Manchester United came from 4-2 down in extra time to beat Lyon 5-4 in a remarkable Europa League quarter-final to progress 7-6 on aggregate on Thursday. United's season looked over when Lyon came from 2-0 down to lead by 2 goals with just 6 minutes remaining at Old Trafford despite having captain Corentin Tolisso sent off. However, a Bruno Fernandes penalty, Kobbie Mainoo's strike and Harry Maguire's header capped a stunning finale to set up a semi-final meeting with Athletic Bilbao. "I felt that here everything is possible," said United boss Ruben Amorim. After the 4-3, the penalty from Bruno, you feel that you can change the game. The Red Devils sit 14th in the English top flight and defeat would have almost certainly meant missing out on European football entirely next season. Instead they are just 3 games away from a European trophy and the lifeline of direct access to the riches of the Champions League next season. "Everybody in this moment believes it is possible," added Amorim. "One moment can change a lot of things in the players' minds." United's history is built on dramatic late fightbacks, but few have been more remarkable than this to leave Lyon shell-shocked. The home side got off to a flying start thanks to a fine team goal as Fernandes released Alejandro Garnacho down the right and his cross picked out Ugarte to slot in just his second goal since joining the English Giants from Paris Saint-Germain. Amorim's decision to restore Andre Onana in goal was under scrutiny. The Cameroonian had been dropped for Sunday's 4-1 thrashing at Newcastle after 2 costly errors that led to both Lions' goals in last week's 2-2 first-leg draw. Those mistakes came after a war of words with former United midfielder Nemanja Matic, who labelled him one of the worst goalkeepers in United's history. The 29-year-old rewarded his manager's faith with a couple of important stops to prevent Lyon levelling through Paul Akuaku and Ryan Cherki. At the other end, a United side that have often looked laboured and lacking in ideas all season, suddenly clicked into gear in the first 45 minutes. United doubled their lead in first-half stoppage time when Maguire's long ball was expertly controlled by Diogo Dalot, who then fired in off the inside of the post. Garnacho should have killed the tie off within minutes of the restart for the second half when he shot straight at Lucas Perry with Fernandes begging for a pass for a tap-in. But the defensive deficiencies and mental fragility of Amorim's side were exposed in a collapse that threatened to cap a miserable campaign. Man United stage epic 9-goal Lyon comeback to rescue season in thriller, 7 talking points. Man UTD 5-4 Lyon, 7-6 AG, Ruben Amorim's side looked set to be going out of Europe after a dramatic collapse versus Lyon but sealed one of the greatest victories that Old Trafford had ever seen. Manchester United staged one of the most stunning comebacks in their long history to beat Lyon and reach the Europa League semi-finals. After drawing the first leg 2-2 in France, it was win or bust for Ruben Amorim's side at Old Trafford. And they enjoyed a dream start as Manuel Ugarte gave the hosts an early lead. Bruno Fernandes went so close to doubling the lead but smacked the ball with a stunning effort. His compatriot Diogo Dalot did eventually get the priceless second goal just before the break. Corentin Tolisso reduced the deficit in the second half with Nicolas Tagliafico then levelling matters just 6 minutes later to stun Old Trafford. The drama was not over though as Tolisso was sent off after receiving a second booking for tripping Lenny Yoro. Ryan Cherki then thundered home an extra-time stunner, with Alexander Lacazette netting a penalty to seemingly put Lyon through. But Old Trafford was on its feet soon after as Fernandes netted his own spot kick with minutes remaining to give the Red Devils hope with Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire netting late goals to seal a semi-final date with Athletic Bilbao. Here are all of the talking points from Old Trafford. Amorim favourite open scoring. Not many would have selected Uruguayan destroyer Manuel Ugarte as United's opening goal scorer of the game, but that's exactly what happened. The former PSG star was on hand to finish off a brilliant team move that saw Alejandro Garnacho produce an excellent piece of skill from Fernandes' pass. Ugarte had timed his run perfectly and struck clinically to score his second goal of the campaign. While it was a crucial strike, it would have satisfied Amorim even more given how crucial Ugarte was under him at Sporting Lisbon. His all-round performance was also among the best he has produced since arriving at Old Trafford. Ugarte certainly he looks like one of those who could stay following a summer rebuild. Onana stands up to be counted. One man who was under huge pressure coming into the game was goalkeeper Andre Onana. The Cameroonian needed a big performance after a series of high-profile errors saw him dropped versus Newcastle at the weekend. He was restored to the starting lineup at Old Trafford on Thursday and produced a brilliant stop to deny Ryan Cherki after an eye-catching run from the Frenchman. He also provided a strong save to frustrate Corentin Tolisso in the second period. The goalkeeper was also very happy to give some grief to Lyon fans following United's goals. While there will still be questions over Onana, a few more decisive stops will go a long way to convincing supporters he has a future at the club. Manchester United player ratings versus Lyon with 4.8/10s in dramatic comeback victory. Man United beat Lyon in their Europa League quarter-final second leg, and here are how the players rated at Old Trafford. Manchester United are through to the semi-final of the Europa League after a dramatic 5-4 victory over Lyon at Old Trafford. United took the lead early on as Alejandro Garnacho's good play ended in a cutback for Manuel Ugarte, and the Uruguayan made no mistake from close range. Bruno Fernandes hit the crossbar with a stunning volley before Diogo Dalot fired United into a 2-goal lead on the stroke of half-time. Corentin Tolisso pulled a goal back for the visitors to set up a tense finish before Nicolas Tagliafico made it 2-2 with 10 minutes to play. Tolisso was sent off with 1 minute of the 90 remaining as the game headed into extra time. The 10 men took the lead in the first half of extra time as Ryan Cherki scored his second of the tie before an Alexander Lacazette penalty made it 4-2 to Lyon. Fernandes pulled one back from the spot to make it 4-3 before Kobbie Mainoo scored late on to make it 4-4. Harry Maguire sealed a dramatic win in added time. Here are how the players rated at Old Trafford. Andre Onana made some key saves in the first half and enjoyed a much calmer night. Kept dependably in the second, but the defenders were not dependable. 7. Noussair Mazraoui defended consistently and calmly in the first half before his seemingly enforced absence at halftime for Luke Shaw. 6. Harry Maguire made some important interventions with United 1-0 up and found Diogo Dalot for the second goal. Slow to react for the goals and compromised by an extra-time yellow card. But then he won it. 8. Lenny Yoro had an erratic first half where he oscillated from lazy to lively. Not goal side when Tolisso nodded past Onana and statuesque for the equalizer. 4. Diogo Dalot teed up Fernandes to volley against the crossbar and superbly scored late in the first half. Had decent openings in the second, too. 6. Casemiro occasionally caught out but continued his good form in the Europa League as the pace suits him. Wilted when Lyon got back into the game. 8. Manuel Ugarte took his first Old Trafford goal well to put United ahead and was excelling at 2-0. Like many, struggled after Lyon scored. Came off late on. 6. Patrick Dorgu continued his encouraging collaboration with Garnacho and crossed invitingly, only Rasmus Højlund failed to connect. Dozed off at the far post for the equalizer. 6. Bruno Fernandes as influential as ever. Played a vital role in Ugarte's goal and hit the crossbar with an audacious volley. United standout player yet again. 8. Alejandro Garnacho. Lovely movement and perfect square pass for Ugarte's goal. Bright, but his shoddy shot at 2-0 nearly cost United. 5. Rasmus Højlund. His hold-up play was better and Garnacho was guilty of overlooking him on one occasion. Should have read Dorgu's cross. 6. Rio Ferdinand names Man United player who has adapted quite well under Ruben Amorim. Manchester United advanced into the Europa League semi-finals with a dramatic comeback against Lyon. Manchester United pulled off a remarkable comeback to book their spot in the semi-finals of the Europa League on Thursday night. The Red Devils were facing the prospect of crashing out against 10-man Lyon as they were 4-2 down to the French side in the second half of extra time. However, 3 goals in 7 minutes turned the game on its head as United kept their season alive. Bruno Fernandes scored from the penalty spot before Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire scored within a minute to complete a stunning turnaround. Amorim's side had led 2-0 on the night but conceded twice in 7 minutes in the latter stages of the second half. Lyon then had a player sent off as Corentin Tolisso was shown a second yellow card. However, Ryan Cherki and Alexander Lacazette put the visitors 2 goals up before United roared back. Rio Ferdinand names player who has adapted well under Ruben Amorim. Former United defender Ferdinand was reflecting on the win on TNT Sports. He pointed out how he felt Patrick Dorgu had adapted really well under Amorim. The defender moved to United from Serie A side Lecce in January and has quickly become a key player under Amorim. The 20-year-old from Denmark made 4 tackles against Lyon and has been signed with a view to fit into Amorim's system. Ferdinand does not believe that the Red Devils squad reflects the way Amorim wants to play and that he needs time to bring in more players like Dorgu who can adapt to the former Sporting CP Chiefs way of playing. Reflecting on the game, Ferdinand said, "I've never seen anything like that as a spectator. It was an amazing thing. We saw so many fans leaving when it was 4-2 and you thought that was over. I said on commentary it would take more than a miracle to get back into it and now I'm actually a believer because that was outrageous." Harry Maguire on, amazing feeling of scoring Man United winner. Maguire was thrown up front by Amorim as the United boss sought a winning goal. Reflecting on his heroic moment, Maguire said, "Obviously it's an incredible game, we made really hard work of it. We had full control in the second half, had chances to score a third, then they scored out of nowhere. It put us on the back foot. To go down 4-2 in extra time to 10 men is not good enough, we opened ourselves too much. But we dug in and showed great spirit, that's what this stadium does." He added, "I felt like the 4th goal for them was a sucker punch but that we'd get chances to get back into it. It fell to myself and thankfully I scored, it was an amazing feeling."